So we have these reports of, at some points, more than 12,000 migrants coming into the country at once. Why this recent surge in migration? Why do you think we're seeing this right now?
Well, that's a great question, and one that has baffled, I think, the Biden administration, because I think early on there was some sense that when Trump left, of course, that the United States would be shifting policy. But in fact, Biden kept a lot of policies in place at first that were meant to discourage this kind of migration, and yet now you're seeing, such a surge, such a tide. Obviously, it speaks to the conditions at home where people are fleeing. It speaks to the conditions of Latin America right now. But there's a lot of disincentives for them to come right now, because obviously, what Governor Abbott is doing and sending them off to places all across the country where they may or may not know anybody, where they're just being sort of dumped off in cities that are strangers to them, is obviously not, what they might have hoped for had they planned the trip, in different circumstances. So it's a very, very big moment, particularly for the Biden administration, which has tried to keep this tamped down, tried to keep this from becoming such a big issue. But obviously, it's a big issue not just for Republicans now, but for some of these Democratic mayors.
Well, I want to talk to you about what Abbott is doing there in Texas and the potential political implications here. Texas isn't backing down from a legal battle with the Justice Department over the state's new anti-immigration policy, SB 4. How do you see all of this playing out as we head into 2024?
Well, it's great politics, of course, for Texas, standing up to Biden and putting him on the defensive if they can, to make the point that the federal government has failed to live up to its obligation, and Texas is going to stand up where the federal government has failed. But it's, in the end, this immigration, of course, and protecting the borders is a federal responsibility, a federal, issue, and one that courts have generally deferred to the federal government. So it may be a legal challenge, but also maybe a political challenge as well, one sending a message to a particular audience.
Well, before lawmakers left Washington for the holidays, Republicans were rushing to solidify a border security deal linked to funding for Israel and Ukraine. How does this complicate the efforts to get much needed foreign aid to our allies?
Well, of course, the Republicans are making the argument that if you're going to pay money to secure our allies, you should pay money to secure the United States. But they have very different ideas between the Democrats and Republicans about how to go about doing that. Now, there was some promise that they were getting progress on the deal. They were getting closer. They could find some middle ground, which, of course, is not very common in Washington these days. But one of the things I found really striking about it is, and this, of course, from your experiences in Washington, most immigration deals over the years have had a little bit of this and a little bit of that, right? A little bit of border security and a little bit of, a pathway toward a better life for some of the people who are already here, right? George W. Bush tried that. Barack Obama tried that in the past. Joe Biden has proposed that. This is going to be the first border security, border kind of deal we've seen in a long time that was strictly enforcement, strictly about stopping people from coming over or finding ways to send them back quickly. There's no talk right now in Washington about finding a way to deal with people who are already here in some sort of a humane way. That's just off the table. That's how much the politics of immigration have changed these last few years.